Hello, ladies and gents. So yesterday I asked you to close read the poem Your World for three different areas. In the first phase, you were asked to close read it by making an objective summary of the text. So here's an example of a good summary for this. The author used to stay secluded in his or her home, ignoring the wonders of what lay outside. Then they saw the promises of discovery and urged themselves to explore and break the barrier of isolation. Then they traveled and enjoyed the reassuring, the natural surroundings. So there's a example of a summary of each stanza, separating it with a sentence. For phase two, you were asked to look at how the poet develops the speaker's point of view or perspective about the world in general. And I asked you to begin it by using the poet develops the speaker's point of view by, and then pick something specific from the poem that they use to develop the point of view. Um, and then, obviously, after you do that opening sentence, you provide your cited evidence and then your full sentence analysis. Here's an example of that. It says the poet develops the speaker's point of view by describing the experience in great deal using imagery to talk about how the discovery altered their goal of pursuit. They use the evidence, nearest nest in a corner, my wings pressed close to my side. And then they explain within the analysis part that the poet used to be secluded from their home, living alone, and they made themselves out to be a bird, like an animal with so much freedom that can fly at its own will. And it decided to make its own invisible cage by pressing its wings to its side. And then in the second part, they decided to include a second text evidence here. And they said, soared to the uttermost reaches with rapture, with power, with ease. And then they explained that in this case, once the poet had seen how beautiful the world was, they decided to go out and start traveling. And by doing so, they were able to learn a lot and have enjoyment within that world that they have seen to travel. Within the last phase, you were asked to reread the text for why it matters and to look for a theme that is developed specifically by the use of wings. And the theme that this person came up with is that by mentally, constraining or caging yourself, you fail to see the beauty of the world. And they used the part where they mentioned how the wings were pressed close to their side. They did not get to the full sentence analysis part, so they still need to make that part, but they could make a case for how having your wings pressed to your side means that they are making a choice to keep themselves confined into the area when they actually could be free because they are able to fly, hence having the wings, but they are choosing to on their own and thus failing to see the world for all of its own aspects because they are choosing to confine themselves and keep their wings pressed close rather than to explore. So that's how they answered that final phase. In today's close reading of the text, we are looking at three phases again of the same text, which is Our World. Tomorrow will be the open book quiz on Our World as well. Excuse me. With this close reading, we are looking at answering the essential questions of what is literary text really about. And then also, we are answering the question of how does interaction with text provoke thinking and response. As you read through three times here, we are looking at, for the first phase, for you to please look at the vocabulary, which is focusing on learning target. Number 14, to determine or clarify the meaning of unknown words or phrases using context clues. So I'm asking that you rephrase the final stanza, keeping the entire context, but replacing the following words. So after you read the text, turn this final stanza into a simpler state or simpler sentence by including or removing and including easier words for the following. Take out the word battered, cordons, cradled, soared, uttermost reaches, rapture, power, and ease. And look those words up and instead replace them with words that mean the same thing, but are in easier terms that are easier for you to understand and are more of your language. Almost like a specific paraphrase line by line of this final stanza. In the second phrase, we're reading for how the text says it, and we're looking at the impact of the structure on the text. As we read for structure, we are looking at learning target number 10 to analyze how a drama's or a poem's structure contributes to its meaning. And as we do that, I want you to look at what is the impact of the structure of the poem and to cite text evidence to support your response. I want you to begin your claim with the following. The poem is using end rhyme. So I want you to focus on the particular structural component of the use of end rhyme. I want you to think about what the end rhyme adds to the poem. What does the end rhyme emphasize? What does the end rhyme describe? What does the end rhyme show? Or what does the end rhyme imply for the reader? Finish that sentence off, then follow that sentence with your text evidence and full sentence analysis. So in phase 2, we're also going to be incorporating learning target number 1 to cite a piece of text evidence to support how you believe that end rhyme adds, what you think that end rhyme, in fact, adds to the structure of the poem as a whole. In the final phase, we're going to again look for why the text matters and focus on theme. As we look at the structure and theme, we are looking at learning target number 3 to determine a theme or central idea of the text and analyze that theme by incorporating and using cited text evidence. As we do so, I want you to look at the specific theme that although life is full of challenges, people can reach success. How does the author support this theme in the text? And to cite text evidence to support your response. I want you to begin your response by stating that the author supports the theme that although life is full of challenges, people can achieve success by showing what, emphasizing what, including what, revealing something, or highlighting something particular in the text that helps us to better see that particular theme that although life is full of challenges, people can achieve success. Please make sure you're following this opening sentence with your evidence and your full sentence analysis. I will go over these 3 responses tomorrow for you so that you understand and see an example of these that are done proper. So please participate in this second close read of the text, and then make sure that as you develop questions with these 3 sections of the close read, hop into the live chat with me if you need help with any of these phases. I'll be more than willing to help you work through answers to these questions. So you may go ahead and begin.